Greetings and welcome to Free Space, where the best things on TV are absolutely free. I'm your host, Captain of the Spaceship, Aaron Perine. Today is March 27th, 2026, and we've got a trip to the not-so-old West here for you today. There are free streaming TV recommendations, some great movies for you to watch, some anime, and some laughs I hope that you can enjoy. On today's episode of the Free TV Podcast, Johnny Young Bosch and the cast of Trigun Stargaze join us in the lower atmosphere. But first of all, crewmates, chime in. Is there anything you're excited to watch on Free TV this weekend? Anything we should know about? Leave your comments for us on social media or down below, and we'll do our best to help. Every week, we drop a newsletter with 3 free picks for everybody who listens. All you gotta do is subscribe to sign up. That's at How to Watch Free TV and howtowatchfree.tv. We've got brand new merch in our Fourth Wall store. That's free-space-shop.fourthwall.com if you want to get yourself some merch, help support the show. And now I think that we got all that out of the way, let's head over to this week's featured title of the week. We call it our Shooting Star segment. This week, Crunchyroll is celebrating Trigun Stampede and Trigun Stargaze, and I guess regular Trigun? It's no secret that I love anime. From some of my most formative elementary school memories to hanging out on the couch with my wife now, I am consistently amazed with what the genre can still do. New stuff is always welcome, as you can't really keep rehashing the same old stuff and expecting a better return every time. The old adage goes, time keeps on slipping into the future, but finding a new way to tell a well-traveled story is always going to perk up my eyebrows. Trigun Stargaze, and Trigun Stampede before it, found a way to sidle up to a grand old story. For those unaware, Trigun was a manga published in 1995, first released in Monthly Shonen Captain. Written by Yasuhiro Night Owl, the tales of Vash the Stampede were a big hit. How big of a hit, you might ask? A sequel manga hit in 1997 and ran until March of 2007. The story follows Vash the Stampede, a notorious outlaw in a world called No Man's Land. He's a lovable goof with strong morals. He's a pacifist that doesn't like to kill his enemies in gorgeous gun battles, and that's despite his affinity for gunplay and some secret abilities hiding under the surface that we're not going to spoil now. His reputation and those aforementioned abilities pull him into the orbit of his brother, Million's Knives, our antagonist for the series. Despite their shared lineage, these two harbor very different goals. They got this like Cain and Abel thing going on that's really, really cool to see play out. People praise Johnny Young Bosch for his performance as Vash, and Japanese voice actor Masaya Onosaka as the humanoid typhoon. Shout out to Yoshitsugu Matsuoka for his performance, for holding down Vash's role in Trigun Stampede as well. Can't forget about the newest version. Of course, with a manga hit like Trigun in the mid-90s, there was bound to be a TV adaptation. Studio Madhouse animated that original anime in 1997. TV Tokyo aired a 26-episode run of it by 1998. Now, original flavor Trigun wouldn't appear in the United States on Cartoon Network until 2003. Adult Swim picked it up. A shocker, I know. Western audiences would quickly fall in love with our blonde-haired, red-coated goofball very quickly. As with a lot of Adult Swim programming from the Toonami era, Trigun inhabits a sort of halo space along with things like Gundam Wing or Cowboy Bebop. When Trigun Stampede was announced ahead of its 2023 release, there was some curiosity, but also a lot of older fans afraid of some changes. The new series has a CG animated style that knows how to ramp up that action and draw on some of the things we loved about the older series, but is completely its own creation in a lot of ways. It certainly helps that they brought Bosch back to be Vash the Stampede this time around. But still, it wouldn't be until this anime started airing that a lot of the older fans started to come around on a new Trigun. In fact, the new show does a great job of adapting a lot of the manga storylines. One side effect of the older show being produced so close to the manga is that it was basically released before the story was completed. Therefore, while Stampede and Stargaze have nods to the 90s animation, they also go deeper into Vash's story and feel more mature as a result. So Crunchyroll asked me to sit down with the cast for this series and celebrate a 30-year run. This new show is billed as a conclusion to the franchise. I talked to Johnny Young Bosch as Vash the Stampede, Sarah Roach, who plays Meryl Strife, David Matranga, who plays Nicholas D. Wolfwood, and Alexis Tipton, who plays Millie Thompson. I asked them about this latest chapter, playing iconic roles for anime fans, the personal cost of moral choices, free will, the true cost of love and peace, and probably some silly stuff too. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. I, like most millennial anime fans, have really enjoyed Trigun and revisiting it through Trigun Stargaze and Stampede. And after the jump, we'll be back with our Warp Speed round with all the free picks for this week. Let's go to the Old West.
Aaron Perine, that hashtag show. Hello, friends.
Hi.
Hello.
On this very warm day, we're here to celebrate Trigun Stargaze.
All right.
Congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
I've watched this in its original iteration
Right.
and the new one, and I've seen this guy before. I've never met you before,
Hi.
but this is a delight. I'm so excited to be here. I hope fans are as excited to revisit these characters as I was.
I sure hope so. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
hope,
fingers
right?
crossed, yeah.
Shadi, being Vash the Stampede is such a venerated, like an honor, because you can't go anywhere at Anime Expo or any convention without seeing a red
Vash.
trench coat
Yeah.
and his hair. What is it like to kind of be putting a button on the whole Trigun experience here?
Well, I don't want it to end. You know? But thankfully, because of like the conventions and I can meet fans that do show up in cosplay, and we get to continue living these experiences later, you know, and as we rewatch, you know. And so, yeah, it's wonderful to be a part of, for sure.
And I'm sure that's double for you. I loved the first episode of this season where we revisit both Millie and everybody. Like, they're just like living their lives. They're sweets. It feels so at home.
There's banana split.
Banana splits. I don't even know what the other dessert was. I'm like, it just looked good.
Yeah, I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on the banana split. It looks good.
I'm still waiting for donuts.
Right.
One day, we've been waiting 30 years. I hope at some point here we get you some donuts. How is it for you to be a part of this? This is a celebration.
Yeah, it's so incredible. I was a fan of the original series growing up, and
Right here.
and
Bring it in.
Yeah.
and I was just thrilled to get the call and be part of it, and I had a lot of nerves, but a lot of excitement, and so, you know, it's been such a blessing that these characters are there's so much to dig into, and every time I record for Meryl, I have the time of my life.
I mean, and it's like you start in a Stampede, and Meryl is like very new to this,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's like, okay, first day on the job, you know, and things go haywire from there.
Yeah.
In season 2, in Stargaze, she's seen some stuff now.
Yeah.
She's a little bit more
She
in
certainly
charge.
has. Yeah.
And she's still on the track of this guy.
Yeah.
And we're trying to find, but she has so much. I was really impressed by. I'm like, oh, this feels like a woman that has learned a couple things out here in this desert, this hostile desert planet where
Yeah.
everything wants to hurt you, whether it has a gun or not.
Yeah.
Well, how was it to like kind of draw a line between the first entry and this entry?
Yeah. I mean, you know, she did start out very green,
Yes.
but very eager. And I think, you know, losing her mentor and everything that happened in Lost July, I think really it hardened her a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think it also strengthened her conviction. And I think that's what she's very goal oriented.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think in Stargaze, she wants to. I mean, starting out, she doesn't even know if Vash is alive. She's looking for Vash. She wants to know what's going on with these plants that are missing. And yeah, I think she is really, really dedicated to finding out the truth and getting it out there so that people know what's going on. And I think that's her way of helping people.
Yeah. I mean, like a journalist. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Trying to inform everybody. You know, like she wrote all these stories and no one believes her because there's no proof.
Right.
It's like, what else do you need? I mean, the city's gone.
She was there. She saw
I was there.
it.
I was
Yeah.
And for you, you're conspicuously absent for a little while. But then, of course, roar back on the scene only the way that Vash the Stampede does. You know, you blow into a room, you know. I want to ask you a question about how it is to play Vash after such just a gut punch at the end of Stampede. It
Yeah.
really was like me and Ariel, because my wife, we were watching together. and we remember it from being kids. And then we go through the new version. We're like, wow, it's a downer. Did my young brain just put all of it into the vault and it was always this kind? And then you go back and watch it, like, yeah, it's a little sad. He's a lovable goof, but he's a little sad. How is it to dust yourself off and pick yourself up and try to make things right after that?
How is it? I mean, I love Vash so much that I get what he's trying to do, and I'm just there for it, you know. And there's part of me that's like, come on, pull it together, yeah, you do it, come on, you know. But I'm obviously seeing where things are going, you know. He's out there, he's trying to make it happen, you know. And the big question is whether or not he can make it happen.
That's true. Come back at April 11th and figure it out.
Exactly.
Right.
I wanted to ask, what does love and peace mean to you two?
Oh gosh.
Huge question.
Well, it's funny because maybe it shouldn't be that. I don't know. Because I've been a part of this forever,
Yes.
and because I shouted love and peace many times back then, and then over however many years, that's what I write down on people's things, love and peace or whatever, you know. So it's for me now. It's sort of like. It's like our call sign or something for the community, you know. It's like we get it. We get what Vash stands for. We love that he wants love and peace for everyone, you know, and he hopes in humanity, and he believes that, you know, there is a way or a path to get there. And he's still trying to figure it out. And so, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It means a lot to me.
It really is kind of a
feel
call
like,
sign.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also, you know, in my life, a little bit of a pacifist, and it's important to me to be kind and, you know, spread love and peace. So I love that message.
We
It
all
also
could use
lets
it.
you know when people are really, truly fans.
Yeah.
If they say it wrong.
Me frantically going back to the footage.
Yeah.
Did I mess up?
No,
Oh
you
my
did it. You did
God.
it good. You
Okay.
did it.
You're good.
All right. Thank you. What is it like for Meryl to still believe in Vash?
Yeah.
Because things go a little sideways at the end of the last one, but like he's still so good.
Yeah.
Because you can still see the humanity in him, even though he's not completely
Yeah.
like, you know, human. But he's like the most human of all of us because of what he wants. Is it like kind of a weird thing to try to like bring forth that kind of conflict in this?
I mean, I think, you know, she's seen him for so long have this conviction that she started to believe it too,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think it's not even a question for her, in my opinion, not even a question for her to believe in that too, you know?
Yeah, I think so. It's a real easy message to get behind, I think,
Yeah.
in these times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
love and peace and being at one with each other. Johnny, I don't know if you remember, but we were at an event and I asked you to do a promo thing for my Instagram. You grabbed my phone and you did it for me. And I'm in the background going, yeah, go watch this in the background. Do you want to tell people to go watch Trigun Stargaze the same way? You want to recreate that for us?
I don't remember exactly what I did.
I was like, can you do a video with me? And then you're like, sure, whoop, and did it with me in the background. And I was like, perfect. I've been blessed.
I was just winging it.
Yeah, you're just winging it.
Hey there, Johnny Young Bosch, voice of Vash, and
Sarah Roach, English voice of Meryl.
go watch Trigun!
Go watch Trigun!
Go watch it!
Go watch Stargaze now!
Do it!
Please!
Yeah.
Love and peace.
Love and peace. Thank you, guys.
You're
That was
welcome, Matt.
delightful. Oh, my gosh. Guys, how are we doing? We're in some very Western deals here, and it is a little warm. You are braver than me.
Yes.
Congratulations on the show. I watched the original run on Cartoon Network back in '03. My wife also did. So when she came in and figured I was doing this, she's like, we get to just go back. We get to go back and watch all of it. We get to watch the new stuff too. She was so excited.
That's so awesome.
Congratulations. It really does feel very, very fun and very, very different than what came before. But these are characters I know. In fact, you guys are dressed like characters.
Yeah, there might have been a little
bit.
planning in that.
You know, listen, so a nice group text of like, hey,
Right.
I think this would be awesome. Johnny's not playing along. He's not red.
I want to start here. Oh my gosh. All the characters, they're such hits at conventions. But you, my friend, you're wearing the garb of like, I'm always looking for Wolfwood. It's every
Me too, man. Me too.
So how is it to step into that role? Like, how is it?
It's unbelievable. It's something you don't fully take in at the beginning, I think, because if you did, it would kind of mess you up a little bit, or lock you up.
Yes.
I kind of purposefully just was like, let's go, let's do this, let's see what this is, and let's do this as truthfully and authentically as I can.
Yeah.
And that's been a great journey doing it that way. And it doesn't hurt that what people feel about the character, I also immediately felt that as well. Like, one of the things people tell me when we have a conversation about it is, it's like, it's good to know that you're as big of a fan of it as we are, And I do feel that. Of the world, the characters, Wolfwood, I absolutely adore. Getting to step into those shoes and provide the English voice of that is just like a gift, honestly. He's so layered, so nuanced. There's so much in everything. It's such a pleasure. And in this reimagining, the cinematic feel of it, it lets you as a voice actor across multiple different types of genre, video games versus and all of it, prelay. It's like there's a different style that you get to work with, and it's exciting. I don't want it to be gone.
Everybody doesn't want it to be over. Just listen, make another.
Yeah. Yes.
And I love that too, because he is a layered character, and he is different in both Stargaze and in Stampede than he is before. And my man is more than just a cool weapon. He's more than just a cool weapon.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Diametrically opposed to Bash the Stampede.
Yes, but so they need each other,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's listen. It wouldn't be the first time something with a Punisher and a Red were in the same place together. But it's very. I found it to be refreshing because they do understand each other. They might not agree, but they totally understand where the other one's coming from.
Right.
And for you, Miss Ma'am, when they announced Stampede, I was like, where is my girl? Where is she? Where are they hiding her? And it's so nice to have her in the second one. I was like, oh my God. From like literally the first couple seconds, I'm like,
oh yeah, they wasted no time in Trigun Stargaze. It was amazing.
Yes.
Right.
so how is it to play a character that's near and dear to my heart as a tall person? I'm like, man, an icon.
Yes.
I know, more tall girl representation in anime. Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, I was aware that fans were really wanting to see her.
Yes.
And it was just incredible. And to hear about the reception that her presence has received in the show is just wonderful. And it's exciting to step into voicing a role in English of a character that you already know, like, people are excited about. There's a lot of pressure with that too, but no, it's been wonderful. And she's such an iconic, wonderful character.
I mean, and you guys get to be in such a cool ensemble too.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my God, like, look at this team. I looked
Yeah.
through the IMDb and I was like, oh my God, there's like a lot going on here. I'm like, there's a lot more of my personal experience than I care to admit in this room right now.
I love it.
I wanted to ask, like, for Wolfwood, we've had some ups and some downs in the first bit of this series, and now in the second series, we're looking for Vash. We're trying to set some things right. We're trying to prevent calamity, which happens a lot in this show.
Right.
No pressure.
Right. And he's a little morally gray. He's a little more gray. He's not like kind of is like, Vashez knows this is what I'm gonna do, and this is right, and we're not gonna hurt anybody. And then Wolf was like, unless.
Right.
And it must be very interesting to play a character, again, to the mindset of a character that doesn't have that moral code the exact same way as a protagonist usually does.
Right. I think one of the things, and this is just my interpretation of it, is that there is a moral gray area that he lives in, but it's not without its consequences.
Yes.
And, it's not like he'll take an action. I mean, because he says multiple times to Vash, someone has to do this so you don't have to, or there's got to be someone that will do this. but it costs him. And I think you see that in how it's impacted him, how he behaves, his lack of trust, his, those things take a toll.
Yeah.
Those actions create those things that then take a toll on him as a character.
Yeah. And punishment is a two-sided coin, right? Because he's enriched through this venture with Vash, too.
Right.
There's parts of him that open up and, like, you get some light that shines through there at the right angles.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's why we love this guy.
Yeah, I know. And the whole world is nuanced like that.
Yes.
It's so, the struggle is real with these characters, like they're internal and external.
Yeah, for Billy, like this world is somewhat new to her in some ways. I mean, she's been around, but and it feels like she's kind of happy-go-lucky, but she also doesn't take crap. She springs into action when stuff hits the fan, and I love that.
Yes, absolutely. Even just in her introduction, we see like the girly pop.
Yeah.
With enjoying her dessert.
The bread and the turkey.
I know, right? And like just having her little girly dessert moment, and then and just how sweet, pun intended, she can be. But then also it's like, oh no, but she's a good person to have like in a battle, and she's very capable, and no sweat there. And so it's two beautiful sides of this awesome coin. And just all the characters in the show are so nuanced and so layered, and she's no exception.
Yeah, you guys said earlier you didn't want it to end, and it's like April 11th is not that far away when this thing ends on Crunchyroll, and I'm like, I don't want to go away. I don't want them to go away.
If we don't look at the calendar, it doesn't exist.
I know.
Time is a construct.
Me. The only way I got through the time between Trigun Stampede and Trigun Stargaze was like knowing that Trigun Stargaze was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's bittersweet for sure. I kind of want to live in denial about it. I'm just gonna live in some hope about it. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's very, very good to live in that hope. And we can for a couple more weeks. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Whew, had to ride the horse back to my spaceship. Thanks again to Crunchyroll for letting us talk to the Trigun cast. It's a delightful show. That animation is gorgeous. You can see the first episode of the original series on Crunchyroll's YouTube channel for free. And they have done marathons on YouTube in the past. So keep an eye out for another time where that's available. But it is warp speed round time. This is our warp speed round. 3 free picks. First up, we've got a familiar face. Over on YouTube, we're looking at Arc Exodus. You've heard quite a bit from our buddy, Johnny Young Bosch, earlier in this episode. It's important to remember this guy's had a long career in show business. He was a literal Power Ranger. He's been half of the English dub protagonist in anime, and he's a big-time stunt guy. Arc Exodus sees him pick up the pen and direct a short film that's very much in his sci-fi wheelhouse. You have to respect the hustle here. Check it out for yourself over on YouTube. Here's a description. Doppelgangers from a parallel universe have secretively assumed the identities of their opposites. To stop the threat of mass invasion, Structure, a covert agency that investigates this kind of interdimensional phenomena, has sent their best agent to figure it out. If you love action and a good stunt, Johnny Young Bosch has had a ton of experience here. It's super engaging, it's stylish, and we're always going to root for someone betting on themselves. That's Arc Exodus over on YouTube. Now to PBS with Craft in America. It's basically impossible to think about Trigun as an entity and not think about the American West as a construct. So much of what we think about with Native Americans, cowboys, wrangling horses, buffalo, and the rest of it are influenced by pop culture. But what contributions from the American West really signify that flavor? And what do they look like today? PBS's episode of Craft in America about the West helps us understand where we came from and where we're going when it comes to Western iconography. Craft in America explores the vital importance of the craft movement here in America and its impact on our nation's rich cultural tapestry, capturing the beauty, originality, and creativity of our craftsmanship. These films highlight artists and explore the interrelationship between what they do, where they live, and how they produce the art that we all enjoy. So that's Crafted America West over on PBS. A little bit of culture for you too. And last but not least, we've got Gonzaga, The Slipper Still Fits over on Tubi.
March Madness is still raging right now, and it's time to get in the mood with a story of a real-life Cinderella. Gonzaga is one of those schools I probably wouldn't have heard about without college basketball. This documentary from David Check chronicles the maniac Mark Few's powerhouse program as they rise through the NCAA ranks. How does the Cinderella get made? Well, you're about to find out. Here's what Tubi says about this documentary. Gonzaga, the slipper still fits, is fueled by Coach Mark Few's relentless pursuit of perfection. The movie also showcases how Gonzaga turns underdogs into NBA stars. Over the course of the full-length documentary, we track the trajectory of Gonzaga's basketball program from a little-known school to a national powerhouse. Another week of free space and the free TV podcast comes to an end. We'd like to thank Johnny Young Bosch and the rest of the Trigun Stargaze cast for joining us in the lower atmosphere. Find us on @HowToWatchFreeTV all over social media. That's like Threads, Instagram, TikTok. It's Free Space Pod on Facebook. Subscribe to our newsletter at howtowatchfree.tv. Rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, you might fall into a black hole. The store has new stuff. That's free-space-shop.fourthwall.com for that. Next week, we're hoping for a face-to-face episode. It's been far too long since I've had somebody sit in the literal spaceship with me, so keep an eye out for that. Shout out to my friends at Phase Hero. This week, with Brandon Davis, Jamie Dirac, and Jenna Anderson, we are looking at the first episode of Daredevil Born Again over on Disney+. That's right, we talk about paid TV sometimes too. Free Space is produced by me, Aaron Perine. Our visuals are made by designer Mike Moody and animations by Izzy O'Connell. This tune that lives in my subconscious all the time is composed by Autumn Reed. Thank you for our wonderful background music. The Free Space TV Guide is designed by Jack Grimes and printed at Rizzo Studio Arts here in Los Angeles. How you doing, June? Until we blast off again, I've been Aaron Perine. This has been Free Space. And remember, the best things on TV are absolutely free. Enjoy your free time, guys.